Hi, everyone. Welcome to Defending Your Faith B2RU version. I know this is a class that you guys have been taking for the past couple months. I've really enjoyed reading everything that you guys have been writing in these discussion posts. We're going to take a little break from the outlines for a while. Hopefully you've had enough practice with that. If that's something you want to continue, absolutely go for it. Hopefully you've also enjoyed the readings. Hopefully you've had your kind of worldviews challenged, your perspectives challenged and broadened, and maybe even developed a bit of an argument for what you personally believe. As I mentioned last year, this component of B2RU is where you really start meticulously building your argument for whatever you believe, okay? And this probably doesn't come as any surprise, but we're going to talk about all of the kind of same topics again, but with you to really have an opportunity to defend what you believe. So week 1, we'll be looking at reality and origins. Week 2, we'll be looking at ethics and morality. Week 3, we'll be looking at sin, suffering, and evil. Week 4, we'll be looking at a comparative analysis between religion and the gospel. Week 5, we'll be looking at salvation and eternity. And week 6, we'll finish with identity and purpose. Okay, so this is pretty simple as far as what you need to know for the first week. Hopefully week 2 will be together. Please go through, click on this course syllabus. It's kind of just more of a detailed explanation of what you already know about the class, but down here is where you'll probably want to draw your attention, what it's practically going to look like. So this week, this class just meets once a week. It meets on Tuesdays from 3:30 to 5, okay? So read all this information on your own. So basically for each week, you're going to write a strong kind of argumentative paper for what you believe, and you'll also engage in a Canvas discussion. Okay, so let's look at week 1. This reality and origins argumentative essay, I'll just go through and read the directions. Write a 600 to 800 word argumentative essay response to the following prompt. What is ultimate reality? Where did humans and everything come from? So that's kind of a 3-part question. What is ultimate reality? What is real in this world? Spiritually, physically, what do you believe to be reality, the ultimate form of it? Where did humans come from, and where did everything else come from? Okay, and you can think about this essay and the 5 other essays to be kind of a part of a larger paper that you're going to turn in at the end of this class. You're going to probably have a 20-page paper defending your beliefs on all these topics. So you can think about this as an essay within a larger kind of defensive thesis for your beliefs. So that might help you as you're writing this. So the essay is meant to be defense and argument of your beliefs about the topic. Use at least 3 different sources in APA formatting. Sources, you're like, what? How do I use the source for my own belief? For example, if you're using a biblical worldview, that would be biblical references. If you have a more scientific worldview or a naturalistic worldview, that would be using whatever science or data or theory or someone else's theory or a theory that inspired your theory. That would be kind of citing that. If you're a Muslim or practice any other religion, that would be citing whatever holy book or information or teacher that you have used to get your understanding from. Okay, so it's a little bit about bringing in other sources, but a lot focused on what you personally believe and not just a retelling of what someone else believes. So your introduction should introduce the topic well. Okay, so what is ultimate reality? Not necessarily what is your thoughts on it, but what is it as a term? Provide context and background information for the rest of your essay, and provide a clear thesis statement. Okay, so that statement should clearly articulate your belief on ultimate reality, humans and their origins, and the origins of the world. So your body paragraph should be structured with argumentative style that includes a clear topic, sentences, and strong supporting details that use the 3 rhetorical appeals, logos, pathos, and ethos, to give depth to your argument. Your essay should end with a clear and concise summary that leaves the reader thoughtfully shook by your argument. Okay? So that will be due, you can see February 1st. So that's pretty quick. So you got to get thinking about that. And part of the reason I had you outline all of those chapters from Keller is to help you see how he presented his argument and kind of give you a way, a framework to build your own argument. Okay. Let's see. And then I'm also going to have you engage on this. And so that this class is not just simply an argumentative class where you kind of write your essay, right? You're also going to engage with your classmates to continue kind of this conversation that we already started with the reason for God. Okay, so your initial response should be 200 to 250 words, due Thursday, not Friday, Thursday at midnight, and reply to 2 other students with at least 100 words by Sunday at midnight. So make sure you keep those different between the American history and the Defending Your Faith. So the American history initial ones due Friday at midnight. Defending Your Faith is due Thursday at midnight, but all of the responses are due Sunday at midnight. So Sunday you'll be busy replying to people, but if you manage your time well, Friday you can reply. Saturday you can reply. You don't just have to wait till Sunday night to do that. So the prompt for the first week is Keller now begins to examine the primary basis for belief in God. Okay, so as you're kind of writing your own defense of whatever you believe, you're also still kind of reading through Keller's, and he's writing his own kind of defense. The whole first part of his book, we're looking at the different doubts, and now he's really kind of constructing his own belief, an argument for his own beliefs. So as you're writing your own, you're reading his, but you're kind of evaluating and analyzing his. And so in chapter 8, he refers to St. Augustine's argument that human desires, and especially desires that can't be completely fulfilled, are clues to the reality of God. For example, he states, while hunger doesn't prove that the particular meal, such as a steak dinner, will be produced, doesn't the appetite for food in us mean that food exists? Isn't it true that innate desires correspond to real objects that can satisfy them, such as sexual desire corresponding to sex and relational desires corresponding to friendship? He goes on to argue that human longing for meaning, love, and beauty are strong indicators that God exists. Do you agree that universal human desires point to God, or might there be other explanations? Explain. All right, and then you guys will go on and have a heyday responding to each other with that. Really interesting topics. Now, obviously, this topic kind of corresponds a little bit to your argument for the reality and origins essay. Please don't just go and make all of these essays quoting what you're learning in Keller. Okay, if you strongly agree with him, sure, use some of his stuff here and there, but I encourage you to go out, read scripture, read other sources of what you believe to be as truth, and also use that in your essays. Okay. So I think one thing I didn't include here is you'll have to read, there's kind of an intermission chapter for the reason for God. Make sure you read that as well, and then go in and read chapter 8 for the first week. Okay. I really wish we could have class together to discuss all these fascinating topics, but for now, the first week and probably the second week will be online. Hopefully by the third week, we can talk more about this in class. The only one that's a little bit different is week 4. Instead of writing a defense for your beliefs, you're kind of doing a comparative analysis on religion and gospel, which is inspired from the Keller book. So if you have any questions, the only kind of assignments you have for this week are to finish this argumentative essay and engage in the discussion forum. Okay. Initial response due on Thursday at midnight, replies due by Sunday. For this argumentative essay, please treat this as kind of, put college level effort into this. Don't just finish and be like, okay, I'm done. Make sure you go through and proofread this. This is a faith class. It's an argumentative class, but it's also very much still a writing class. You're still learning how to write. This is a great platform for you to practice some of these writing skills that you've been learning over the past 9 months. Okay, put it into practice, and really just take it as a kind of a philosophical class, a worldview class, but also a writing class. Okay, so that means, if you need to make an outline, go and do the outline. You all should still be outlining your essays before you write them. Put time into making sure the APA is cited correctly, that your paragraphs are well developed, that you have topic sentences that flow, that you have a strong introduction that brings in context. All of those things are super important to make sure that you have a good, strong argument. Now, towards the end of the class, you'll see the final defense paper here. That is where you kind of combine all of these thoughts. You're not rewriting the paper all over again. You're kind of putting all of these arguments together into one final paper that you can hold near and dear to your heart and say, this is what I believe. And when you leave this program, you can have kind of a strong articulation for what you believe about the world. Okay? And that's kind of been the goal of this class. And this last kind of term helps you kind of put the cap on everything we've been talking about. Go through the syllabus. Keep reading his book. Think about some of these issues, maybe harder and deeper than you thought about before. And even if you want to talk about counter arguments in some of these essays, go for it. Okay? If you want to write a little bit more than 800 words, that's okay too. Please let me know if you have any questions. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You guys have been doing a great job with all this other stuff. So I have no doubt that you will write a phenomenal argumentative essay for reality and origins. Okay? Bye.